It's unprecedented court packing. Yes, Saturday Night Live lives. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. But in any case, there's a possibility that Schumer can actually, that when it comes time for a vote, basically all the Democrats desert. And if the Republicans are missing one or two senators, then, maybe they can pull this off. We'll see. According to the Senate quorum rules for a Judiciary Committee, they can discuss business with 7 members present. But in order to approve anything, they have to have 9, including at least 2 from the minority party, 2 Democrats. So this may just come to a full stop, at least with regard to this committee, when the vote time comes. Now, if that happens, at that point, Mitch McConnell is faced with 2 options. He can just ignore the Judiciary Committee and say, for the first time in the history of the United States, we're going to put a candidate before the entire full Senate for a vote without a recommendation from the committee for the Supreme Court. Or he could say, maybe we should just wait until after the election, like, we've all talked about. Excuse me. So we'll see. But, this is being reported. But, as I was saying earlier, Obama left. Trump says he left me 128 judges. No. And as I also pointed out, Amy Coney Barrett is sitting in the seat of, not at this moment, but when she's in the 7th Circuit, in the seat that was actually supposed to go to a brilliant black attorney, Myra Shelby, but Mitch McConnell blocked the nomination, President Obama's nomination, just like he blocked Obama's nomination of Merrick Garland. What we are watching as a result of Trump and McConnell having gotten over 200 federal judges and 2 Supreme Court justices through the Senate, meaning that more than a quarter, almost a third of all federal judges right now have been packed into our court by Trump and McConnell. And virtually 100% of them have been straight white men. There have been a couple of straight white women, but I think there might have been 1, maybe 2 minorities out of hundreds. I mean, this is court packing on a scale that is literally unprecedented. Refusing to hold hearings on a Supreme Court justice while you're blocking a president for 2 full years from putting people on the lower federal courts. This was so bad that John Roberts wrote an open letter to the Republican Party, to the Senate, and to the president, but mostly to Mitch McConnell, saying, you gotta give us some judges. We can't deal with this. Now, there is some history around this that we all need to know. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln was concerned that, even though the Confederate legislators couldn't participate in Congress at that time because they had just declared war against the United States, the Confederate members of the Supreme Court, including Roger Taney, the Chief Justice, could. They didn't have to leave the Supreme Court. So Lincoln needed another anti-slavery vote on the Supreme Court. So he and the Republicans got together and they passed a law in 1863 to increase the size of the Supreme Court. It also increased the number of, it was the Judiciary Act of 1863. It also increased the number of federal judges in general, so that Lincoln could appoint them. So Lincoln packed the courts in 1863. 2 years later, Lincoln is assassinated, and Andrew Johnson, a slave-owning Democrat, becomes president. Congress meets and cuts the size of the court from 10, which is what Lincoln had taken it to, down to 6. Says, that's it. You can't do this anymore. So throughout his presidency, Andrew Johnson couldn't put anybody on the court. Then as soon as Johnson leaves office in whatever year it was, I think it was 1872, Ulysses S. Grant comes in, or maybe it was 1868. Ulysses S. Grant comes in as president and says, okay, that's it. We're gonna take the court up to 9, which is what they did, and it's stayed there ever since. But, there is a long history. I mean, this happened after the brutal so-called Revolution of 1800 election, when Jefferson increased the size of the court so he could put a new justice on it. During times of national crisis, changing the size and composition of the court by changing the number of justices has been done repeatedly by some of our most revered presidents, Jefferson and Lincoln. Court packing and unpacking has a long tradition in America. It's time to unpack the McConnell-Trump court packing scheme.